I stayed at the end of the sports bar taking shit from people. Oh, dude, speaking of which, I went to this sports bar, and this fucking Ravens fan, it was almost like performance art. Like, you know what, like when you go to a sports bar, the one thing that sucks is going to be the people who are rooting for the other team. You know people are going to break balls. Like, as a Patriots fan, you know you go in there, if you're going to wear any sort of Patriots, T-shirt or a hat, you know somebody's going to be like, oh, you fucking cheaters, or, fuck the Patriots, and, whatever the fuck they're going to say. Break Tom Brady's other knee, the usual bullshit. But then there's always those people who take it, like, too far. And it starts to get to the point of, there's going to be a fight. All right, this guy, I've never seen anything like this guy. When the Ravens scored a touchdown on their first play, literally handed the ball off, and Ray Rice just runs right up the gut and then breaks it to the left and just goes right. Okay, and as they're doing it, right, this guy who everyone was saying looked like it was like Kevin James sort of build with the head of Shrek. And I'm not even joking. And he just starts going like, as the guys, when he scored the touchdown, this guy did like this. I wish I was doing a video podcast. And no, I'm not going to start doing those. He just started doing like, just imagine if you exaggerated like walking. Like if you just were bringing your knees up really high and you were like bringing your fucking arms up, almost like you were power walking, but you were doing it in slow motion. And he just was going, like as long as you could do it until you were out of breath. And then the funniest thing ever was when he, at the end of it, he yelled out Super Bowl. I almost fucking fell down into my breakfast burrito when he yelled out Super Bowl. It's fucking a wild card game. You just went up 7-0 on the first play, and this guy, he's calling Super Bowl already. And dude, I'm telling you, and this was the thing when he was doing it, okay, and immediately I'm like, all right, he is going to be this loud the whole game. All right, I'm going into the other room. So this is where it gets bad. Now I'm in the other room. You want to be that fucking loud, be that fucking loud. But now what he starts doing is anytime the Ravens make a great play, he comes in. Oh, I know what it is. You know, like when Kevin Garnett fucking dunks the ball and you just see him screaming? That's what he was doing. Anytime the Ravens were doing anything, he was doing that like he was doing it. So what we started doing, because he was fat, we started yelling out appetizers. Like he'd be like, ah, Ravens. We'd be like, ah, potato skins, fucking buffalo wings, right? And it started off funny, and then by the end, it just started getting really ugly. And it almost was like escalating into, I don't know, dude. It was just one of those classic situations where, you know what I kept thinking of? I just was wishing Joe Pesci was there. You know, in Casino, where he stabs the person in the neck with the pen, and then they're down on the ground like, He goes, is that a little girl? Huh? You hear a little girl crying down there? Like, literally, that's what I wanted to do by the end of it. And, I don't know, man. Like that's why I don't like going to sports bars, because look, I love talking shit, and you show up and your team gets their ass kicked. You got to take the shit, but like it gets to a certain point where now you're like yelling at me or in my direction, like I'm gonna be intimidated by you, and now you're making me feel like I'm some sort of bitch, and now I got to yell shit back at you, and it's just like I kind of left there with like a headache, and it wasn't, and I got to admit, like I even hate like there's a particular person down at that bar who's a Patriots fan who's just a fucking asshole. I was just wondering, you guys have any stories like that? Like you go to the sports bar, the guy who like takes it too far. Have you ever seen it actually escalate into a fight? Because I always want to see those guys get punched in the face, and I'm not going to do it because A, I don't want to get my ass kicked, and B, I don't want to, you know the option. A, you get your ass kicked. Or just picturing me on the ground. You know when you get your ass kicked, how messed up your hair gets? And you're breathing really hard and you're trying not to cry. It just always feels like the playground. It might as well just be like grass in your hair. Remember that shit? When you got your ass kicked in the playground, how just alive you were afterwards, where you could just fucking feel everything and your ears were always hot, It's just fucking weird.